Hey guys, so I recently just did a video explaining what the Sinclair Method protocol is. If you haven't watched that, definitely go check it out. In this video, I wanted to talk about how it is that this method works to essentially de-addict your brain from alcohol and give you more control over when you drink or allow you to quit drinking much more easily. So something that's important to understand with David Sinclair's research into this method and what he discovered is that alcohol addiction or alcohol use disorder is actually a learned behavior that resides in our brain, because when we drink heavily over a period of time, almost anyone can learn the behavior of alcohol addiction. It really changes your brain. And when that happens, it's as if it hijacks our brain. And on some level, our brain is mistakenly equating alcohol to a survival need. So that's why it's not a logical issue. When we have alcohol use disorder, oftentimes our logical brain will be saying, why did I drink so much last night? Why can't I stay sober? Why do I keep doing this to myself? I know I kept asking those questions, but then I would go back and drink again, and I was feeling this like total internal conflict. The reason that's happening is because the logical part of our brain is not the one that drives alcohol addiction. It's this more primitive part that essentially gets hijacked when our brain has learned alcohol addiction. Something else that David Sinclair discovered in his research is something known as the alcohol deprivation effect. And what he proved essentially is that if you take someone who is addicted to alcohol and then you remove the alcohol and then you reintroduce it again a couple of weeks later, he first did this research on rats and then on humans. And what happened was the rats ended up binging on it at a rate 15 times faster than they were drinking before. So essentially they'd become deprived of something they were addicted to, and it increased their motivation and desire for it. And so the same thing happens with humans. That's why just quitting drinking and, trying to go alcohol free that way has such a high failure rate. It's estimated that 80% or more of people who go to traditional treatment just to quit drinking will relapse in the first 6 months of treatment because they haven't fixed the root cause of alcohol addiction, which is inside of the brain. So when you go on the Sinclair method, you take the medication naltrexone. It's an opiate blocker, and it's blocking the huge reward that your brain gets when you drink. And when you do that over and over again over many, many months, it's a long-term treatment protocol, your brain essentially unlearns the alcohol addiction. So it essentially undoes those pathways that have been hardwired and hijacked to crave alcohol and binge drink alcohol, and gradually undoes it over time. And for most people, they lose their desire for alcohol, their cravings fade away. If they are still drinking, which you can on this treatment protocol, they have more control or an off switch, or people can quit drinking much more easily. If you have questions, please put them below.